Hi, welcome to the 2020 Diabetes Awareness Conference. If you are just joining us, we'll wait for a couple more seconds to see if anybody else wants to join. Just a couple of things before we get started, I guess. We do have our turkey trot baskets ready for pickup if you've done the turkey trot. We have quite a few people that have not picked them up yet. The zombie crawl t-shirts are in also if you have completed that in October. Those are finally in too, so if you want to stop in. And last but not least is our district challenge masks. I have Team Buffalo Lake. They have the straps on the back. So if you guys competed in the district challenge in September, those are also in. So with that, we will get started. First of all, welcome. This is a little bit different than we did last year, but we didn't want to not give you guys the education that we gave you guys last year. Today, we did shorten it up a little bit. We will be visiting with the pharmacist at IHS, Kaylee Perkins. She's gonna come and talk to us about our continuous glucose monitor. And make sure that you're paying attention to each of the presentations that we are giving today. There will be a survey at the end of the conference today. If you turn that back in to us, you'll not only get this t-shirt, the long sleeve t-shirt, we have it on today. You will also be put in for a drawing for an Instapot, a NutriBullet meal prep case, and then a water pitcher. So we'll be drawing for that on Friday. So if you guys get those surveys into us by Friday, we'll draw for that, and you'll win all these items. We will also, after we finish with the presentation from the pharmacy at IHS, we will go right into a cooking show with Delane Rasmussen. It's been a few months now since we've got to have Delane here to cook for us. So I know you guys can't smell, but I can smell it, and it smells delicious. So we'll be going through a healthy lunch today, and then like I said, pay attention, make sure that you're listening to all the cool facts that she tells you, in addition to actually watching her cook too. After that, we will go into my section, and we will be going over a new grant that we received here at the Diabetes Center, and some of the things that we will be being able to implement now that we receive some additional funding, which is pretty exciting. We will also be going through the announcement of our Christmas challenge for December. Pretty excited. I don't know if I'm more excited to get you guys more motivated, or if it's just because it's Christmas, but you add them both together, and it's pretty exciting. So and then after that, we're going to do a light stretch and some little workout tips that you guys can do if you guys are stuck at home, or even in your office. If you're stuck in your office and you can't get up, some little tips that you guys can do. So to get started here, we will start with Kaylee, and she is from IHS, and she's currently working as a pharmacist. So.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me today. I just wanted to talk briefly about some information. Metformin is one of our medications that we usually use as our first option for patients with diabetes. So I just want to go over some tips with it. Metformin is one we always want to make sure we take with food. It can help with that stomach upset and prevent the uncomfortableness of it. And it does get better after those first few weeks as your body gets used to it. If you continue to have issues in stomach upset or cramping, talk to your provider. There is a metformin formulation that's an extended release and has been shown to cause a little bit less issues with that. So kind of just talking about medications, there are also more options, both oral medications as well as injection medications. So it's really important just to kind of talk with your healthcare team, and we can find a medication regimen that works well for you. Some of them have positive side effects that can help with weight loss or even help keep your heart strong. So again, just keep us up to date with how those medications are affecting you and how we can best help. And then I will have Delane join me, and we're going to talk about continuous blood glucose monitoring, which is an option for uncontrolled diabetes right now to help you track those blood sugar trends. as you go throughout the day. Okay, so
Let me grab a chair here.
So we're going to go over a monitor we have today. It's going to be the Freestyle Libre 2. And the way this monitor works is we'll put a sensor on Delane's arm and it'll stay there for 14 days. And we can scan the little sensor on Delane and it'll tell us her blood sugar on the monitor. And then this one, it continuously monitors it. So as long as this meter is within 20 feet of Delane, it'll automatically know what her blood sugar is. And there is an option to set a low blood sugar alarm and a high blood sugar alarm. So if Delane gets below that recommended 70 and she needs to eat a snack and some quick sugar, it'll alarm and let us know that now is a good time for her to go ahead and eat that.
So Kaylee, does everyone with diabetes get one of these?
Nope. So right now we're just recommending in uncontrolled diabetes. So for those blood sugars that are kind of going up and down, and those that are really struggling, trying to get things under control.
What about, would it be if I'm on insulin, would I meet the criteria then?
Yes. Insulin is also another option. Again, giving you that chance to see those blood sugars as you use your insulin.
Okay.
Yeah, great questions, Delane. So we can go ahead. So the sensors are going to come in this little box.
I'm right-handed, so I'm going to put it on my left arm because I might not bump it so much.
And we do recommend every 2 weeks you alternate between your arms on which sensor it goes on. And we're kind of going to just go for the back of the arm here for Delane. And we're going to really clean out that skin and make it kind of angry. And then we'll let that dry. And while we let that dry, we're going to put this together. Just sticks in there. And the little sensor, it's not a needle, it's a little piece of filament. Okay. You feeling dry, Delane?
I think it'll be fine.
Okay. So we're just going to push and it'll click on there. Okay. How did that feel, Delane?
I really didn't hardly feel it. All I felt was a little pressure.
Okay.
Because it's not a needle and it doesn't go into the bloodstream. It's just in the interstitial fluid, just under the skin. So it's very comfortable.
Good. And the first time you put a sensor on, it'll take an hour before it'll give you a reading on this. Okay. So then it'll just scan like that.
So right now, Kaylee just activated that sensor. And so now we know it'll start working. So each sensor that goes on needs to be activated.
And then we'll go ahead and we can show you what the alarm would sound like. So it's telling us the glucose or blood sugar is running a little high, so we want to go ahead and scan it and check it. So then you'll scan your sensor that would be on your arm, and then it'll tell you what your blood sugar is.
Also, there's no need to worry in the wintertime if you have long sleeves on. If you're laying in bed under a blanket, that reader can read right through that and get to the sensor. If you have a heavy coat to parka on. So there's no problem with layers of clothing or blankets to be able to read the sensor, which is nice. Other facts, you can bathe and shower with it on. It is waterproof. Cannot be under the water more than 30 minutes, so no scuba diving. I always tell my patients that. But you can sure go for a swim in a pool as long as you're not under the water for 30 minutes or more.
And if you are having just a little issue with it adhering or sticking to your arm well enough, we do have little sticky pads that we can stick on top. So just let us know, and we can in the pharmacy, and we can get those for you and see if that'll help.
Thanks, Kaylee.
Thank you.
I'm just going to remind people that we have our virtual diabetes classes, and these classes are open to everyone. Anyone that's interested in learning about diabetes, and also if you have prediabetes or diabetes. Lots of us have family members and friends that have prediabetes and diabetes, and so the more that we can learn, the more we're able to support them. So I would encourage you, if you're interested, get a hold of one of us dietitians at IHS, either Kathy or I, and we can send you the link and you can do the virtual class. So our next one is tomorrow over lunch hour. Just let us know if you're interested. The Diabetes Center here supports these classes, and if you attend, you will be able to earn a fruit and vegetable nutrition voucher from Dakota Crossing, which is pretty nice, especially this time of year because those fruits and vegetables are a little more spendy.
Yep, okay. Okay, we're going to follow Delane over here, and we're going to begin our cooking portion of our day. So bear with us. I am a little older, and I don't know how to do some things, so we're going to make things work today.
Hopefully you'll be able to watch me a little bit here while I'm preparing and cooking. And today I'm going to make two things for a healthy lunch. One is a 3-bean chili with tomatoes. And then the other one will be a turkey salad or a chicken salad wrap. And I have a couple of different wraps that we're going to talk about today that are a little bit healthier and really low carb. So what we're going to begin with first is a few raw veggies that we're going to need to saute. So I'm going to put just a little bit of olive oil in a pan here, and I'll get that started heating. And while that is heating, I'll start chopping up some of my veggies here. So I have an onion. Hopefully I won't cry while I'm chopping it up. And as some of you have been to my cooking classes, you know that some of the onions we have here seem to be kind of strong. And, you know, I'm just hoping it's tears of joy as people are cutting up their onions because they're glad to be at a cooking class. But sometimes it gets kind of strong in the kitchen when there's a few of us cooking together with a lot of different onions. Okay, so I just kind of roughly chop them up. I'm not doing anything real uniform here. I think it looks a little better in the vegetable soup if we just have some roughly cut vegetables. So this one calls for 1 cup of chopped fresh onion. And you might be wondering why I don't have gloves on. So I washed my hands thoroughly, and as long as you are cooking with vegetables that will be cooked, you don't need to wear gloves as long as you have clean hands. But when I'm doing the turkey salad or chicken salad wrap a little bit later, I will put some gloves on because that is a ready-to-eat food. So I'm just going to go put these in our pan on the stove here. Next, we're going to put some peppers in. So peppers are really easy to get cut up and put into food. The way I do it is I just slice off the top and then I cut them in half. And as you open your pepper, you'll notice if it's a male or a female pepper. Did you know that the male peppers are the ones that have the seeds? And so I have 2 male peppers here. So I'm just going to take those seeds out. And I just chop off that good veggie around the stem because I don't want to waste any of it. Get as much as I can here in my soup. Okay, and then we'll just chop some strips. And again, these are just rough cut. Just looks a little nicer in your dish if they're not all uniformly the same size. Gives a little more variety to the appearance of the dish. If you have children in the family, this is something they can help with. I would give them maybe a smaller knife that's not real sharp to begin with and teach them about always cutting away from their fingers and their hand. If this is something kids like to help with to start out preparing some of these vegetables, and it's a good way for them to try vegetables. They're usually more willing to try them if they've helped with the cooking. I always say, go ahead and take a taste and see if you like it. And sometimes they're surprised. They don't think they'll like it, but once they start trying it, they find out, oh, that was a new food that I did like. So this recipe calls for 1 cup of chopped onion and also 1 cup of chopped peppers. And you can use any color peppers that you'd like to. So I've got a good cup here. I'm going to go add that to my pan and give it a little stir. Okay. So some people put the raw vegetables just right in their soup without sauteing. And a good tip is if you can saute those vegetables and even the herbs, if you're using any fresh herbs, it helps the flavor pop out a little bit more and you'll have a more flavorful soup. We also need some chopped celery. So you'll probably notice I have the celery wrapped in tin foil. So Our vegetables, our fresh vegetables are kind of spendy, especially this time of year. So if you want to keep your celery for a few weeks and it doesn't go bad, put it inside of aluminum foil. Just unwrap it, put it in the foil. It'll stay fresh for a long time. This recipe calls for 2 stalks. And wrap this back up and we'll be good for another couple weeks. I'm going to wash it off a little bit. So if you have a chef knife, that really works the best for chopping some of these vegetables, especially the really crisp ones. This works really neat. You can do quite a few at a time here. But I'm an amateur, so you won't see me cooking on Iron Chef or anything, because I just don't have those kind of skills. But really, just basic cooking skills are all you need to be able to make some really nice, healthy dishes for you and for your family. If you get a little bit of celery leaves in there with your celery, that's fine. It's just a little bit more added flavor. And we'll add this to the soup. So now we've got the onions and the peppers and the celery all in there together, sauteing. Starting to get that aroma here in the kitchen. So the next thing I'm going to do is, this soup calls for 3 different types of beans. And so we have the pinto beans. All these beans need to be drained and rinsed. And the reason that we do that is when these beans are canned, there's a chemical reaction that happens with the beans and it can cause gas. It's harder to digest if we have that juice in with those beans in our dishes. So we're going to drain and rinse them off. So now I've got pinto beans, red kidney beans, and black beans together here. So they've all been drained. I'm going to slip over to the sink and give those a little rinse here. Okay, so those are ready then. I'll put them in here. So I'm going to add now, it calls for some chunky tomatoes, but I chose stewed tomatoes because they have a little bit extra. You know, we've got some onion and peppers and garlic and things in here. So again, you're going to add a little bit extra flavor to your soup. And the cost is about the same. So why not buy the one that has a little extra in there? So I'm going to add that. Okay, so I added the tomatoes in there. I'm going to put the beans in. Then we'll stir all of that up. As you can see, this is a really hearty soup. All these vegetables. So for my own taste, it's a little bit thick, so I'm going to add some water. And just a little bit, maybe a can full, like a bean can full of some water to go along with it. I'm also going to add just a little bit of some vegetable base here. So you can buy this vegetable base at the grocery store in the soup aisle. And I like the liquid one or the paste one better than the dry one. And just keep it in the refrigerator. We've got that in there. And the last thing is some cumin and some chili powder. And these you can adjust to your own taste and your family's taste. So if your family doesn't like so much spice, then I would use less than the recipe calls for, and we'll be sharing the recipe. But if you like the extra spice, then go ahead and add. And you could even add, instead of just sweet peppers, you could have some jalapeno peppers in there, or other peppers too. Okay, so now I have all of the soup ingredients together. So I'm going to put that on the stove. The recipe says to simmer for 20 to 30 minutes. Now, if you aren't able to make this soup right away, you could take this combination right here and just put it in some pans and put it in the freezer, and it would freeze very well. Also, if you have leftover soup, you can freeze it for another time. All these beans, everything in here freezes great. If you would like to add more protein, you can add your own meat. So maybe you have ground beef or some lean ground turkey, lean ground pork, venison, buffalo. Those are all great. Those could go in here along with this if you want to make it more than just a vegetarian dish. Otherwise, this is definitely would be a vegetarian dish. So the nice thing about beans is that they have a lot of protein and a lot of fiber, and so they can actually help your blood sugar to stay stable. They do have some carbohydrate, but it's a good carbohydrate. And so you could have a good serving of 1 cup along with something else, and you'll feel full for quite a while just because of the protein and the fiber that are in that soup. So I'm going to let that simmer a little bit, and we'll get started on the next thing, which will be the turkey wrap. Just going to clean up my area a little bit here. So you may have some leftover turkey from Thanksgiving, or if you're like me, we didn't have as many family members as usual. So I didn't want us to eat turkey for days and days. So I did freeze some of our turkey. So I could pull some of that out now and just let it thaw and cut it up, cube it up. And so I have 2 cups of cooked turkey here, or you can use chicken also. And then other things that we need along with this, I'm going to chop up some more vegetables. So I'm going to get a clean cutting board. And this also calls for celery. Again, I'm going to use 2 stalks. But remember, this is a ready-to-eat food, so I need to put gloves on now. I want to keep my food safe. I usually wear large gloves and these are medium, so bear with me. Okay, again, rinsing it off. And we'll start chopping up our celery here. What I like about this salad mixture is the texture is really nice with the cooked chicken or turkey, and then you have some crunchy with the celery. We're also going to add some apples and some walnuts. Back to my chef knife, it works a little bit better. These you probably want to chop up a little bit more just because they're going to stay crunchy here. And we want it to mix in with the salad mixture. I have 2 apples here. The nice thing about the apples, it's going to add a little bit of color to the salad too, a little more variation. So I just quarter them and then you can just pull the core out really easy. Don't peel your apples, leave the peeling on there. That's a really nutritious part of the apple because you're getting those nutrients in the peeling and the fiber. And we'll go back to our chef knife again and just slice these up. So you can make just a couple cups of cooked poultry go a long ways to make some sandwiches or wraps by adding the fruit and the vegetables along with it. And it makes it a little more healthy. It's almost a meal or a snack in itself. A really nice addition with any type of soup, whether you have a broth soup or a cream soup. It can round out your meal very well. You can see my bowl is starting to fill up here. I just had a couple cups of that poultry in there, and now it's getting filled with the fruits and the vegetables along with it. And so you can modify the recipe according to what you have around. Maybe you don't have apples, but you have grapes. Those are really good in here. Any kind of apples will work. And apples that are starting to get a little bit soft work fine. So if they're getting a little soft and you don't want to eat them raw, they'll work great for something like this. Okay, we have one more thing to chop up yet, and that's going to be our nuts. So this recipe calls for walnuts, but I've used, again, whatever you have around at home. I've used pecans. I've even used peanuts, mixed nuts. You can just use whatever you have around. But remember, nuts are heart healthy. Walnuts are one of the most heart healthy because of the heart healthy oils that are naturally in them. So this dish here is very heart healthy with the apples and the walnuts both. Apples are known to help lower cholesterol because of the soluble fiber. That fiber just acts like a sponge and helps soak up some of that cholesterol so it doesn't go out into your bloodstream. So now you can see that this bowl is getting quite full, so I'll be able to make quite a few sandwiches or wraps with this. Okay, so that's the last thing I need to tear up with my gloves here is recipe calls for some baby spinach. We didn't have any baby spinach, so I brought this today. This is a little head of romaine lettuce, and so you can buy them like this, where you just get a little head of it, and so you can use these little leaves to put on your sandwiches or wraps. Again, it's another way to add a little more veggie, make it a little bit healthier. And for someone that would like to have a gluten-free, I would just take your mixture. Once you have it all made together, put it inside the wrap or your lettuce leaf, and you can wrap it up and eat it like that too. You wouldn't even need to have it on a wrap. Okay. All right, so the last thing that I need to do now is just get the dressing mixed up that goes inside here, and then we will get that stirred up for you. I'll be right back.
You sure? Tell them to share with you. If they're watching now, they're sure.
You guys can share this live stream with people if you'd like to. Sarah's prompting me. Okay, so we start out here. We need some mayonnaise or salad dressing, and I picked some light mayo to use today. And so the light mayo, again, is going to be something that's going to be more heart healthy for you, a little bit lower calorie. And then we have some spices in here. I've got garlic powder. Again, you can adjust this to your own family's taste. Some people like garlic better than other people. But we do know it helps our blood pressure. Both onions and garlic can make a difference with our blood pressure. If you like them, I would really encourage you to try it with your meals. Okay, a little bit of pepper and salt. And so what I have here is called pepper. And so it's a mixture of different peppers in with black pepper. And then I like to use some sea salt. And I have people ask me, is sea salt better than regular salt? Salt is salt. The difference with sea salt is it has larger grains. So if you're trying to cut back on your sodium or salt use, you can put this in your salt shaker and you won't get as much at a time. You'll still get that satisfaction of shaking that shaker, but you won't have as much coming out. So And then we're going to add a little bit of apple cider vinegar. A little bit of sugar. Sugar just kind of helps offset that vinegar. So now we've got the dressing here. It's going to go right into our chicken salad. Okay, so I'm not sure if you can see it. This is what it looks like. And then I'll show you how to put it in a wrap and to wrap it up. There are a couple of different methods. I'm just going to use one that is pretty easy and simple to do. Okay, so I brought two different types of wraps. This one is called Ancient Grains. And so it has several different types of grains in it. And it's not as dark as the full whole wheat would be. And I also have a garden vegetable one. And as you can see, it's kind of a lime green. So probably spinach in there, that would be my guess. So again, I'm gonna get my gloves on because I'm touching ready to eat food. Just try to move things so you'll be able to see well. Okay, so just spread a little bit of that chicken salad in the center, down the center here. And then we're going to put one of our lettuce leaves on here. I'm going to rip it up a little bit here. Then when you start wrapping, you go on the edges first, put those in, and then you're going to wrap right down the middle. Okay, pretty simple. So we've got a nice healthy lunch here. It's pretty fast and easy to do. I'm going to pour up a bowl of soup so you can see what that looks like. I have some that's been simmering here in the crock pot. So there you have it, the 3-bean chili and a nice turkey or chicken wrap to go along with it. And if you want to, you can even just put a little bit of grated cheese on the top. Chili and cheese always goes well together. So we'll be sharing the recipes a little bit later. And hopefully you'll be able to try them for yourself. It smells really good. We're going to have a taste here in a little while. Thank you, everyone.
Hi, now we're going to kind of go into some program updates here at the Diabetes Center. I do like to apologize a little bit. I was kind of blessed my whole life where I never had to talk in front of anyone. I have a great dad that got to talk to the world through my voice. So sometimes I'm not too good at this. So bear with us, and as soon as we get familiar with things, we'll be able to update things a little bit smoother and be not all over the place like I was. So the first thing that we would like to talk about is we did receive a grant from the Great Plains Tribal Chairman's Health Board. It actually came about before the grant was even announced, probably maybe a month before we announced the grant. We started working with some families in IHS. There's a pediatrician in town at IHS, and we started meeting about the problems with obesity in our younger kids. Right now, our current funding, before we got this grant, we weren't able to work with kids, which is kind of heartbreaking for myself because I do like working with kids a lot. So we developed a team to work with them and to try to get families involved and get them into the programs and stuff here the way we could. So we partnered up with the youth center, the education department, and we started developing a plan. Through all those plans and all that stuff, we found some kinks. We worked through some of those things, and then as we know, the tribe shut down a little bit there for a while, and funding was on hold for a little bit. So we weren't able to finish the way we wanted to. But what we did be able to do was lay the groundwork for which came about the next probably within 2 weeks, I think, after one of the families were in just finishing up. So once that RFP came out, we sat down and we figured out that this is exactly what we needed. This is what we wanted to do, and we wrote it and we got it, and so now we're able to help families. And what it's going to entail is a little bit of combating it as a family instead of us working with the adults. The school's trying to work with the kids, and then there's just no communication there in between everyone. I find that if we attack some of this stuff together and within our families, I think maybe that we'll be able to combat obesity. If we can get these kids while they're younger, we won't have such a higher rate of obesity, diabetes, hypertension, the cardiovascular diseases, and then it makes life a lot easier on us as we grow older. So what's going to happen is we'll get referrals. We'll take the referrals that we get from IHS first, and if they have kids that are overweight or obese, we will take them. Once we meet with them, we'll not only give them some tools, but we're going to give them a book that they can track all their food, everything in. They have to monitor their food intake, their exercise intake, all that stuff. We will be giving them something to communicate with, just in case we do get stuck in this for a while. So if you're not comfortable coming in and meeting with us, we can always set up a meeting like this in between each other, and we'll give you the tools in order for us to do that with you. We're gonna be able to offer you guys to do 8 weeks, 12 weeks, and 16 weeks. So wherever you're at with your family, if you think you can only go 8 weeks, then we'll go 8 weeks. If you want to go farther than that, then we'll go 12 weeks. If you can go farther than that, that's 16 weeks. After those first 8 weeks, you're going to kind of see changes within your family, within your moods, your energy level, all that kind of stuff. And we feel like once you finish those 8 weeks, it'll be a big change, but at the same time, I think you'll be ready for that, and you're going to want to double your time and go to the full 16 weeks. Once you sign up with us, we'll monitor, we'll do a whole assessment on you guys, just like when you sign up for the diabetes center. We're going to do your blood sugar, your A1C, your blood pressure, your height, your weight, your BMI, your lipid panel, which is your cholesterol, and we'll keep that here for you at the diabetes center. Those first 8 weeks, we will go shopping for you. We will get your meals ready, bought and ready for you to take home and cook, and give you some recipes that you can kind of follow. After those first 8 weeks, what's going to happen is we're going to when we have our weekly meeting that week of your 8th week, and you want to go to your 9th week, we're actually going to give you the tools. We're going to do a grocery store tour, and we're going to show you what we're looking for and what you should be looking for when you go grocery shopping. Once you finish that, and then we will just give you some vouchers where you can go purchase your own groceries. You'll return receipts to us, obviously, and then you'll do that for the rest of the 8 weeks, because we feel like we've showed you everything that you needed to see for those first 8 weeks, and then it's really your time to fly and shine. So after that, we'll just keep monitoring you. There will be incentives involved if you finish the 8 weeks, the 12 weeks, and the 16 weeks. Obviously, if you stay longer, the incentives are better for your families. And I think that's it. We're super excited to get this going. If you have questions, please call us. There will be an agreement. There's a policy. As soon as we're able to begin it and we receive our funding, we will get the notice out to everyone. But we wanted to give you guys a little heads up and let you guys know what we're actually looking at into the future, because I do think that is important. The reason why we kind of went this way was we did compile the obesity data for the last 5 years and in the previous 5 years for that, and where we're seeing an uptick of people that are being overweight and obese is our younger generation. So that means it's just going to trickle over. If we don't do something right now, it's just going to keep building and building as they get older. And as everyone knows, if we're a little bit bigger, it's harder to fight diabetes. It's harder to fight hypertension. When we're sick, it hits us harder. So we want to be able to help that. We want you guys to be healthy. We want you guys to be happy, all that kind of stuff. So if you have families, start thinking about it now. If you think you are a family that is interested in the program, please give me a call. We can discuss it in more detail. It's an exciting time, I think, for us. So that kind of goes into our Christmas challenge that we are going to start today. If you know me, you know that I love Christmas, and it's my favorite time of the year, starting in, I want to say September, but some people would probably say July. But I love Christmas. I think it's a time where we're a little bit nicer to each other, and we want to be better people, kind of. But what it is we're going to do the 12 days of Christmas. We were going to do a workout thing, but I think right now during this pandemic and the COVID stuff, we're not only wanting to be fit, but we have to find the silver lining. We have to find some kind of positive that's going on in our world right now. So we're not dwelling on just the sadness and all that kind of stuff. So actually what we're going to do is the 12 days of Christmas, and you have 24 days. We will give you 24 different things to do from now until December 24th. Within those 24 days, you're going to have to complete 12 of those days. Every day that we post something that you have to do that day, then you are going to have to do it on that day. So for example, today's event is you are going to name one person that we are grateful for. Who they are, why you're grateful for them, and how do they make you feel. Once you finish that, once you write that, you need to go to our Facebook, Sister Wapton Diabetes is our name, I believe, and post it on there. Once you do that, we will see it. We'll write your name down. If you must complete all 12 of those days. They don't have to be in order. They don't have to be the weekdays. You can do whatever you want, any combination of those 12 days, but you must be able to do it on the day. So whatever challenge we do tomorrow, you have to do it on the 2nd. So I can't do today's challenge tomorrow on the 2nd. You have to do it on that day. The idea behind it is we are going to start adding some exercise and nutrition stuff today, eventually, like tomorrow. But we just want you guys to kind of see. We want to give you guys some hope, boost your morale, because the fitness center isn't just about exercising. I love to be active, but sometimes some of that isn't enough. Sometimes if we feel drained, if we feel tired and just we can't do anything because we're just sad and we don't see the end in sight, we have to keep reminding ourselves that there is light at the end of the tunnel. And I hope that between us doing some of these things online and us trying to keep the program going is that some of your guys' shining light at the end. If you guys have ideas or if you guys need help with any of that stuff, we can help. I mean, that's what we're here for. We're not just here to teach you how to do a push-up or how to run or any of that stuff. We're here to help you to grow, to make some of those healthier choices that maybe we don't necessarily make every day. And like I like to remind people, we don't have to start out cutting everything out because we give up right away. Let's try adding something. Let's make sure we get our water today. Maybe that's going to be tomorrow's challenge. We're going to make sure we get our 8 cups of water tomorrow. Simple things. Maybe the next day, maybe we'll get our veggies in. Try adding things instead of taking things away right away. Then that not only makes you feel better on the inside, but it makes you feel like you accomplished something that day. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for those little wins today through the whole rest of the year. 2020 was rough, but I think sometimes we can find the good in everything we do. So with that, if you have any questions, please give us a call here, 698-3922. Like I said, everything that we've done today, we will be posting it on our Facebook after we're done here. And we can't do any of this stuff without your guys' help. I know sometimes I might be a little pushy and I'm out there sending messages and all that all the time, but we need your guys' help too, because sometimes we need your guys' word of mouth. We need you guys to get it out there to people that we might not be able to have contact with. With that being said, once we complete today, the survey will also be posted. If you complete the survey, you bring it back to us. You can either drop it off here. I'm here usually till 3 o'clock during the day. Drop it off. Once we verify that you've done it, you'll receive your diabetes prevention or your diabetes awareness shirt. It's a long sleeve red shirt. They're pretty nice. You'll receive one of that, and then also you'll get a raffle ticket for one of these or all of these items. So prizes. Thanks, Deline. So make sure if you didn't watch the whole video, I'd go back through and watch the video because some of these questions were with all the presentations. And once you do it, and then if you don't feel comfortable dropping it off, that's fine. You can just email me back. You can email me at SarahL, SARAL@sw-nsn.gov, or you can fax it at 605-698-4341. And we will be doing that drawing on Friday. So make sure that you get that to us. The next thing that we are going to close with is we're going to do a little light stretching. I know you've seen some of our videos. I hope you've seen some of our videos that we've been putting up there. Is some light activities, because I really think that we need to help our people that aren't moving around as much as they should. And any kind of movement is better than no movement. If you think you're not ready for something, then start out little. You don't have to. We don't have to. We're not trying to train you for a marathon. We're not trying to train you for even a 5K. We just want you guys to move around a little bit. Once you work out or even break a sweat or elevate your heart rate, you're going to start feeling a little bit better. And every day you do something, the next day is going to get easier, and then it's going to get easier and easier and easier. And small little changes are going to make a huge difference in your life. So that's what we've been kind of gearing all our workouts for on this YouTube page is we just want you guys to get moving. And I know it's getting cold out there and it's harder to be outside. I know I love Christmas, but I hate being in the outside in the cold. So I feel your pain. So that's why we kind of want to do some of the stuff that if you're stuck in the house, this is what you can do. So we kind of want to show it. Delane and I will, we're going to go through a few things that we can do inside the house. Should we?
Chairs.
I do.
Where are we going?
So we kind of wanted to show you guys that you can find things around the house. Just because you don't have weights doesn't mean that you can't do some like lifting. So if you find even just small little cans, you can use those. If you have something heavier like a milk bottle or a big juice can.
Yeah, milk jugs work really well because you can decide what weight you want in it. So you can just fill it up accordingly. So maybe you just put like 1/4 of water in your gallon jug and start with that. Maybe then it gets half full or all the way full. So you can work up with that. That's doesn't cost anything. You can recycle those milk jugs.
So the first thing we're going to start out is a shoulder press. So we're going to grasp our cans. We're just going to have our hands up and we're just going to push up. Okay, and then you're just going to rest your arms a little bit. You can do as many as you want, as few as you want. You guys obviously know your body more than we're going to know. So if you feel like you can do that for a minute, then go ahead and do it for a minute. If you can only do it for 10, 15 seconds, that's fine too. The next ones are lateral raises. So all we're going to do is we're going to put the cans on the sides of our body, and we're just going to lift. Remember to keep your posture up, right?
Yep. Try to keep your back straight, tummy tight.
Good job. Okay, the next one is we're just gonna I don't know what this is, but we're gonna have our hands in front of our body and we're just gonna punch forward. And if you don't have cans and you don't want to use cans, you don't have to use cans either. We're just giving you some options that maybe you have some of that stuff. You don't always have to go and buy the fanciest equipment to get a workout in. Good job. Okay, the next one is the hollow hold. Is that what's called? We're just going to come up, come around, and then up. Side. So it's 2 movements, really. Oh, I'm sorry.
We're trying to get in sync.
I have no beat, so. Okay, good job.
Glad my cans are light.
Okay, so the next one is we're going to do the lateral one again, but we're just going to hold it. All we're going to do is hold it on the outside. Just hold it as long as you can. You should feel it in your shoulders. I do. Do you?
Yeah, I did an arm workout last night, so I'm definitely feeling this.
So you can keep it as long as you can. Once you do, just bring it down. Remember when you're done with any kind of exercise, just kind of try to shake it out a little bit. Make sure that you're always breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth. It's very important that you don't forget to breathe.
Muscles need oxygen.
The next one is we're gonna do some legs. So if you have a chair, we'll do this one. If you have a chair, you can use it to help breathe. But all we're gonna do is gonna use it, and we're just gonna go down and we're just gonna squat. Make sure to keep your back up. Was it? Right?
Yeah.
Good job.
Just listen to your body when you're doing those squats.
Okay, the next one is we're just gonna lunge. We're gonna step out and we're just gonna, you can almost use it as a stretch too. Good job. Okay. The next one, you're gonna sit down in your chair. And I think we did this in one of our other videos too. Is we're gonna call them high knees, but we're not gonna necessarily do high knees. We're just gonna pick up our knee. Same thing. Make sure your back is up. Abs tight. Breathe. Remember, if you can only come this far off the ground, it's okay. You can come all the way up, that's fine. Good job. The next one is kickouts. Kickouts, we're just gonna kick out straight. Good job. You should feel that stretch all the way up your legs. So some of this stuff can be used if you just need to stretch. Good job. Okay, the next one is we're gonna do a couple ab ones. So I don't know. Delane said we're gonna call this one the genie. So I don't know if some of you guys
I don't know if you remember
Genie.
the show I Dream of Jeannie.
I do, and I guess that means I'm
That just shows my age. But,
same.
so we're gonna work our waist a little bit. So you're just gonna twist to the side, and then the other side, nice and slow. And try to keep your hips straight ahead. So you just want to move your abdominal area. You'll feel it in all those different ab muscles. Okay, good. Again, you can do as many as you feel comfortable and just increase it as it gets easier.
And it will. Promise. Promise. Okay, the next one is we're just going to cross our body. We're going to make sure that we're tightening our abs.
And if you can't get your elbow to your knee, that's okay. You can do your upper thigh. But it's just making sure that you're getting both a movement that's comfortable for you. Keep moving.
Good job. Okay. We're supposed to start with relaxing a little bit. So we'll end with that a little bit today. We're going to do a little bit of breathing and then winding down. Thank you for joining us, and thank you to everyone that came today and everyone that viewed our show. A little announcement is we will be returning the Move and Lunch and Learn every Tuesday, right?
Right.
So that's an exciting time for us.
It's going to be online, so make sure you join.
Yep. Make sure that you share. Like we said, that's probably one of our busiest class times was Delane's class on Tuesdays, and it always smells amazing in here. And then today we got a little treat today, so We're not saying that everything's back to normal. We're just saying let's get back to the new normal. Make sure that we're staying 6 feet apart. Make sure you're washing your hands. All that stuff.
Wear your mask.
Wear your mask. Just all these kinds of things. Just let's do our part in little ways. So with that, I hope you enjoyed today. Like I said, Delana will be back next Tuesday, and we will be back with some more exercise videos for the rest of the week. I hope you plan on doing the Christmas challenge. Remember today, think about who you're grateful for, why you're grateful for them, and how they make you feel. How they make you feel, just overall. We have to remember the good things that is going on in our little world too. So with that, we're going to end with some breathing, and we will see you guys soon. So same thing, we're going to breathe in. When we breathe in, we're coming up. When we breathe out, we're coming down. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Slow breathing and slow up. Exhale. Again. One more time. Okay, good job, and we'll see you soon. We'll end you with, I do have a sweatshirt that says this, and I try to live by it every day, is don't be a Grinch, be a Griswold. If you don't understand that, then go watch Christmas Vacation. If you can bring joy to somebody's life today, then try it. Somebody probably needs a little boost. If we start being better to each other, maybe this will get less hard to deal with a little bit. Okay, and we'll see you guys soon.